We're here today to celebrate our roots, not just any roots, our Scottish roots.
I didn't even wear underwear.
Woohoo! That's a true Scotsman.
I can trivialize anything.
Life is trivial. Don't ever say a Scot can't hold a grudge.
Forget hell.
This abides. Like there's a
The dude abides.
the dude abides.
You've got the Rob Roy kilt on right now.
This looks like I took it off a picnic table. Good. There it is.
Ooh.
Lord have mercy.
Mary Bird,
Okay, clan.
Clan McGregor.
My name is Stephen Smith. My grandmother on my father's side was a Keith.
My name is Cameron Horn. This is my wife, Erica Horn. I'm the North and South Carolina Commissioner for Clan Gun.
I'm Holly Crawford with the Crystal Coast Highland Games. I'm the founder and the event organizer.
Adam Guthrie, Clan Guthrie. I'm from Harkers Island.
My name's Ralph. We look after St Kilda, USA, traditional Highland wear company. We're based in Pittsburgh, has its main headquarters in Scotland.
Leon Hicks, Clan Henderson Society.
I'm Scott Carmody with Scottish Society of Wilmington.
This year has been spectacular. We think we've hit about 2,500 people. The crowd is great. The weather's great.
Felt like in the middle of the summer last year.
I know, this weather is so
This is
perfect.
like, I didn't even wear underwear.
Woohoo! That's a true Scotsman.
So what's the big difference between the first and second year?
You know, there's new things we knew we had to change or tweak to make it better. So I think overall, we've done that.
They settled around Curry, North Carolina, sometime in the late 1700s. Keith's story is that when Beverly Perdue was running for re-election as governor, my second cousin, Tom Keith, was the DA in Forsyth County. He caught a nursing home trying to give $100,000 to Beverly, $10,000 at a time through family members.
Because of the political contribution limit. Yeah.
That's right. So anyway, he threatened Beverly if she ran, he was going to turn her in. Darn, she didn't run.
What does being Scottish mean to you?
Part of the tradition. It's a beautiful culture. Being connected to something that's not just every day, right? It's a little bit different. It's fun. The people are great. The music's great. Beer's great. The whiskey is awesome. So just being involved in doing something.
Yeah. The Keith clan is
finally got retribution for getting tarred and feathered during the Wilmington race riots in 1898, where one of my great-great-grandfathers was tax collector as a Republican, and he got tarred and feathered and sent out of town.
That is just
what comes around comes around.
Don't ever say a Scot can't hold a grudge.
Forget hell.
We've talked to a bunch of different clans, and I've asked them all, like, why do you do this?
We absolutely love it. I love it when everybody comes here. Look at all these people having such a great time because of something I sat at my desk in my home and did. That is awesome to me. If it's Scottish, people will follow. And we're proving that right now. We've doubled in a year.
Is there any more badass of a name than Gun, Clan Gun?
Real? Not that I can think of.
What does it mean for you to be Scottish?
Well, I'm Scottish by marriage. I'm actually like Swedish.
No
French.
choice.
But my family has taken right to it. My mom was here. She's wearing a kilt. When we got married, we had a full Scottish wedding, everything. Went to Scotland for our honeymoon, did the whole thing.
Why do you do this? What's in it for you?
The family aspect, the history of it, the roots thing, you know.
Yeah.
I like knowing where we came from.
Right.
I like having ties to the past and all that stuff.
Yeah. And it's tough with how quickly technology. 20 years.
Everything's fleeting.
200 years.
Everything's fleeting, but this is not fleeting.
Right.
This remains. This abides. Like there's a
The dude abides.
The dude abides.
Nice.
10 years ago now, we had gone to Scotland for like the gathering. And when all those clans marched up the Royal Mile, wow. This is what it feels
perspective.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I could feel it. These people are so proud to be Scottish.
Why do you do this?
Well, probably a certain amount of masochism involved. But no, we enjoy it. You get outdoors, you get to meet a lot of really nice people. Clearly, in a situation like this where some of the larger events, you got thousands of people and everybody just enjoying themselves.
We look forward to next year.
Thank you.
We got to do our send-off.
Freedom?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to scare everyone around us.
Oh, it's going to be loud.
So this one right here, she doesn't even know what's going to happen
You
to her.
want to jump?
3, 2, 1. Freedom! Nope, no reaction.
It's hoit and the crabs is in the collards. Now, the word to be mommock is a local word.
So that's some brogue you were just saying.
Okay, well, do you know what mommock means?
Well, mommock means to be like annoyed or pestered or bothered.
Torn up.
Torn to shreds.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm up on Grandfather Mountain talking to this old Scot 30 years ago. He's probably 80 years old. I said, you ever heard of the word to be mommock? He says, yes, sure. My grandmother used to say it to me all the time up north of Glasgow. It's not English.
Here we think it's Old English.
No, it's Gaelic from the old Scottish sailors.
Lord and I be mommock today.
That's right, Lordy, honey, I've been mommock this day.
Why do you do this?
For multiple reasons. One, I really love history, and I love my history and being able to share it. And if we don't share our history with our children here and the children coming, it's going to fade away.
Promote our Scottish heritage and put on Scottish themed events throughout the year. We do our big Robert Burns dinner in January. It's a celebration of Robert Burns, the poet of Scotland. We celebrate his life and we'll read a bunch of his poems. He only lived to be 32 or 3, but he's got a book of poems that thick.
Was he a tortured soul like most famous poets of that time?
Somewhat, but led a very active and entertaining life.
Yeah.
Fathered a bunch of children, and he was quite a man.
When you think of being Scottish, what does that mean?
That's a good one. Well, I'm American first.
Right.
I'm American with Scottish roots. I like the idea of being connected to something that goes back millennia. You know, I think back to the time of even when the Roman Empire was ruling Britain, and the fact that they never got much north of the River Tweed. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
They hit the Scottish border, and that was it. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't mess with the Caledonians, and I don't know. I didn't explain it too well, but I like being attached to that, connected to
Do you
that.
connect to the warrior culture?
I do, and just the idea of the clan, the family, the extended family.
Yeah.
You know, the respect for those that came before. Just that appreciation of the ones who came and even the ones who came over and settled here. You know, that kind of thing.
So we're here with Clan Tillery. He's
Y'all, you're killing me with this. Hey, where's my people?
Oh, they're gone. They left you. All right, what clan are you in?
I'm not in a clan.
I was gonna make a black person joining a clan joke, but I refused. This is your second year here.
My second year here. Well, how much fun is this? This is a lot of fun. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're in Beaufort.
It doesn't feel like it at all. And I know so many people here. I mean, this is great.
Yeah.
I mean, and I didn't realize that so many people were so connected to this Scottish heritage stuff
So,
here.
but you have no Scottish.
I do. I do, but I don't know what my tartan colors are or what clan I belong to.
Well, I got this from Walmart last night. Made the pleats myself. What do you think?
Okay.
Shows.
Well, mine is it does
His
show it's a
tone said it all.
Walmart.
His
Yeah.
tone said it all.
Yeah, it's pretty. Mine's Amazon, actually. Yeah.
Well, looks
Spent a
good.
small fortune for this. Yeah.
So Scots are known to drink.
Uh-huh.
Carter County's known to drink.
Yeah, and I drink a lot.
A culture that's so much around drinking. Is there any worse music for hangovers than Scottish music?
No music at all.
Just
No music at all.
what is your?
I need quiet to recover.
And no light.
No light, no bagpipes, no nothing. No sound, period.
You know how we do a send-off for the end of the video? William Wallace, freedom.
We can do this.
We're going to do 3, 2, 1, okay?
Okay.
3, 2,
1.
freedom!
I'll call myself a bit of an amateur historian, if that's not an overstatement, but it has to do with learning a lot about the history, not only just Scottish heritage history, but basically Celtic culture in general, and also American history and how it gets applied to, and the impact of the transition of the Scots to America and the impact on our form of government, etc.
For a people that likes to drink as much, because I mean, is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay.
I have an entire thing on Scottish whiskey.
Well, there you go. There's a alcohol playboy up here, Chris. But no, is there any? We were listening to the music. Is there any worse hangover music than Scottish music?
You get used to it,
Yeah.
and it's beautiful when it's out in a big open area. So just don't get too close. Yeah, that's the trick. You gotta have them a distance away.
What does being Scottish mean to you?
To me, it's all about heritage and understanding one's own history and understanding one's place in the world. That's a difficult question to answer.
Yeah, it encapsulates a lot.
Yes, it does, but mostly, though, it's family heritage. People come to us wanting to talk about Clan Henderson Society. There are two principal focuses. One, wanting to understand the history of the namesake of Henderson, or son of Henry. And as you can see, all our information here is specifically to that point. But we also have a world-class genealogy team, and that is probably the principal draw, people really wanting to know their ancestors.
Just know where they came from.
Exactly.
I've been doing this over in the States for 30 years. Pretty much toured most of America bar one state. I've got one more for the bucket list to go.
What's that, Alaska or Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. There's kilts everywhere. Like,
Yes.
I tried to order a kilt.
Okay.
It wasn't going to get here in time. So I went to Walmart,
Uh-huh.
got the fabric, and watched a DIY video on how to make pleats.
Yep.
Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being horrible, 10 being the worst thing you've ever seen. Where am I at?
We've got it at a fairly decent try.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Generally, you find most of the tartans are woven in Scotland. The origin of the wool, however, is not
Right.
from Scotland. It's actually from Australia and New Zealand. But it's treated and woven in Scotland. Normally, UK wool, Scottish wool, Irish wool is good for making sweaters or blankets. But kilt wool is from Australia. And then it gets woven in a total myriad of different family tartans.
Tartan
That's
is the
where-
actual plaid?
Yes, that's
Okay.
where people find their colours. The bigger the family, generally, the more options that you'll have on colours.
We're from Carter County, North
Yeah.
Carolina. If we showed up in Scotland, is it something you'd see 1 out of 10 people wearing a kilt? Is it common, or is it for ceremonies?
It very much is more a social thing in Scotland. Parties, events, nights at the pub. You'll see a lot of kilts getting worn there. Your average day-to-day going to the office, not so much. However, that's changing. Even in New York, every year they have a thing called Dress to Kilt, which is a whole fashion show that takes over a whole week of all the latest fashions based on
How bad do you hate that? The kilt purists, I'm sure, are like,
I'm
come
much
on.
more of a purist when
Yeah,
it comes
yeah.
to it. You know, and I try to let people know that, you know, going by Scotland with Scottish art, it helps Scotland and it helps the Scottish industry
Right.
as well. And for the most part, you want to embrace that heritage because that's why you're coming to the festival in the first place.
People fought and died for
That's
those
right.
patterns. What does being Scottish mean to you guys?
It's our heritage. My ancestor came from the Orkney Islands in 1757, settled in Bladen County. And we just like to celebrate that Scottish heritage. It's a beautiful country. My grandparents and great-grandparents that came before us. My family, the Cromarty family, we have a little church we look after up in Bladen County, which was part of our family's church. Just the heritage, you know, proud of where we came from and want to keep it going.
My family was in the sweater business many years ago. At that time, I was on the West Coast in California. There realistically is only so many wool sweaters that you
Sure.
can sell to somebody.
Sure, yeah.
And so we moved into the kilt side of the business, and we always moved in with the point of wanting to make sure that we would give everybody the best price that we humanly could. 29 years in over here, And we've always kept that policy, and that's worked for us over the years.
And we have fun celebrating our heritage.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't?
I mean, the Scottish heritage is a proud thing throughout the ages. Very proud people, very practical people.
Like Scottish fingerprints are on everything.
Very much so.
You go to California and you see like Los Angeles and Diego.
It's all Spanish.
How much the Spanish is. Yeah. It's amazing how much Scottish is.
Well, you had so many Scots immigrate through the Carolinas.
Yeah.
And
The Appalachians were very similar to the Highlands, so they felt at home in the mountains.
and they make great Scotch.
Scott.
And pretty good beer.
Funny how that
Yeah.
works. And some white lightning, maybe. Well, we appreciate it, guys. Can we get a send-off of you guys giving us your best? Give us a William Wallace Freedom.
1, 2, 3, freedom!
It's a passion.
Yeah, it very much is a passion, yeah.
Usually do a send-off where we do a William Wallace Freedom. Would you?
Of course, yeah.
I want to scare everyone around
Okay.
us. All right.
Freedom!